Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing? Trying to
I'm
figure this out.
good. Yes, I've been so busy with prep for Miss Texas, and last weekend we just went to Miss Oklahoma, and we were back and forth from Oklahoma to Texas to Miss Oklahoma in like 2 days, so it was crazy.
Oh
But
my gosh. So
I've
exciting though. You look beautiful.
thank you. You look amazing as
Oh,
always.
thank you.
Okay, so we've got some people on, and I have lots of questions for you. Let's see how many we can
Gosh.
go.
Okay. I'm ready.
Okay, so I have some questions that are just from me, and
Okay.
then some questions from other people. I put on my story yesterday if they had any questions. So, first, obviously, your social impact is about youth voter engagement, and obviously, I have some of the information about it, but can you just give an overall description about your social impact really quick?
Yes, absolutely. So, the official title of my social impact is Your Voice Matters, Educating the Voters of Tomorrow. And initially it came about because in high school, I've always been someone that, was really excited to vote. And then I kind of realized that a lot of my peers didn't share that same excitement. And the more I started to have these conversations, I kind of realized that voting was something that was really becoming something that wasn't viewed as a privilege. I've always viewed it as, we have this amazing opportunity in this country to voice our opinions. And, each vote holds equal weight. And I don't think youth see it that way anymore. So I really wanted to dedicate my time and my social impact to kind of addressing that, and especially working on younger children, because I truly believe that this understanding that, your voice has impact starts with younger kids. If you instill that value in them from a young age and teach them that, their opinions have value and that their voices have value, then they're going to continue that throughout their life and hopefully become lifelong voters.
That's amazing. So my social impact is called Elevate, and it's about documenting your goals to change your life, because I've noticed it's kind of similar to your social impact. They're all two very different things, but I've noticed that a lot of people don't recognize and notice what their goals are. And down actually has a huge impact, because you're 42% more likely to actually achieve those goals by writing them down. 7% more likely to believe in yourself that you can achieve them. And my career ambition is actually become a teacher who runs my own private school. And I kind of have the same view on goals as you do on voting. So, and those things in young children is super important. So I think that's cool that those kind of have a similarity there. But
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's cool. So now I have some other questions just about overall life as Miss America's Outstanding Teen.
Okay.
What is your favorite thing about the Miss America competition? So that 4-day period, what was your favorite thing that you experienced apart from just competition?
Oh, okay. Oh my gosh. So I would say probably just the relationships that I've built with girls. I know for anyone who's competed, you know the sisterhood and you experience the sisterhood, but I've never experienced it in that way. We all roomed with a fellow title holder, state title holder, and we didn't have our phones during the week, and we had really limited access to our parents and our directors, which I absolutely loved. I have never felt a bond like I did with those girls. And I truly have some of the most amazing relationships, even with girls that I wasn't even close to during the week. You share this really special bond that kind of continues throughout the rest of your life, right? So I would say that is probably the best part. And then in terms of like activities or something like that, I honestly, all the excursions we went on were just really fun. Like we went to medieval times, which is kind of like creepy and silly, but it was a lot of fun, and just kind of sharing in those moments with the other girls was just so special.
Yeah, I love medieval times. So that's oh god, sorry. Okay, so next question, kind of random, but I thought it would be fun to hear from you. If you could add any phase of competition, what phase would you add?
I have never thought of that before.
I hadn't there until yesterday. So
I've never been asked that. Oh my gosh. Okay. Whoa.
You're like, when did I get back in interview? I thought I already.
Yeah, I'm like, what's going on? No, I'm kidding. Probably like, okay, either I would do like a social impact statement like the misses do.
That's what
Um,
I say.
yeah, because I also think, well, either that or like some sort of like modeling portion, but I'd say most likely like social impact, just because I think teens have a lot to say, and a lot of us, like, I love your platform. Like, a lot of us have these really special platforms that mean a lot to us, and I think it'd be super cool for the audience to see that, because they don't typically get to see that. A lot of that conversation happens in the interview room, so getting to showcase that on stage, I think that's what I would add.
Yeah, that's probably what I would add. Also, how they do get the question from the judge. I think that's pretty cool.
I
We
like that too.
get to hear from them on stage more than just their on-stage questions, so I think that would be super cool.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, so what opportunities did you gain by winning Miss America's Outstanding Teen versus just your state title, which is obviously still amazing, but what did you gain from Miss America's Outstanding?
So I was only Miss Washington's Outstanding Teen for, I believe, 2 months.
Yeah.
And one of the really amazing things that happened with Miss America's Outstanding Teen is all of a sudden I was flying and going to events across the country, whereas with your state, obviously, you're just in your state. And so because of that, I got to do some really cool things that don't really happen in my state. I love Washington, obviously, but things like the Thanksgiving Day Parade in Philadelphia. Like, we do not have a production that big in my state. So, you know, getting to fly out and do that, I have gotten to go to all these amazing state pageants, which has been so much fun. I love watching all the different competitions, and I love meeting all of you guys. So that's been really phenomenal. And then I would just say, really, the opportunities, how do I phrase this? It's like, by winning, I had more leeway to create opportunities for myself. Suddenly I had this national title, so I was able to reach out to the organizations that, you know, I wanted to work with my social impact, and get to meet people that I wouldn't normally have been able to meet with my state title. So in that way, that was really amazing to get these opportunities that I would have never expected I would be able to do.
That's amazing. Yeah, that must be so cool, because I just went to see Miss Oklahoma and I was like, this is amazing. I'm wearing my Texas sash and I can't imagine showing up in a Miss America sash. So, okay, next, after everything that you have experienced from your year, or I guess now 2 years, Miss America's Outstanding Teen, what would you tell yourself back when you were competing for your state title?
Whoa, okay. I would say the number one thing is to savor every single moment. That is something I still struggle with, living in the moment, but moments are so fleeting and they will go by like this. So whether it was winning my state title or going to my first appearance as my state title, winning Miss America, all that fun stuff, you just wish you could go back and relive them, right? As with any other amazing thing that you do in your life. So I would really say to myself, take it day by day. Don't get too ahead of yourself, and savor every single moment, even if they seem really minuscule and unimportant, because I promise you will look back on them and wish you could do it all over again.
Oh, that's amazing. That's good advice for all of me and my fellow competitors too.
Yes.
Take it day by day. Don't think about, oh, finals is coming up, who's gonna win. We have these amazing local titles, and obviously it's super exciting thinking about who she's going to be, Miss Texas Outstanding Teen and all, but having these local titles it's still an amazing opportunity, and I think that's something everyone should hear. So
yeah, absolutely.
We have so many questions. I'm like, which one do I use? Okay, so you're a singer, obviously, and I actually watched your talent, and I saw that you sang that song in your second grade talent show.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so how long have you been a singer?
Oh, so I have been taking vocal lessons officially since I was 6. Yeah, I started singing pretty early on. Basically, the running joke in my family is that we tried like all the sports, we tried everything, right? And nothing like really stuck. I just wasn't really into it. And then I tried dance and theater and singing, and my parents were like, "Oh, okay, this is what she likes." So
Yeah.
I started pretty early in singing lessons, and then it's just kind of continued from there, and I've done it ever since.
How did you choose your song because it was what you sang in your talent show, or how did you choose to sing that song specifically for competition?
Yeah, so the first year that I competed at Miss Washington 2018, and the song that I won my local with was "Wishing You Were Somehow Here Again" from Phantom of the Opera.
Oh,
And oh, I know, I love it too. But originally, the reason I picked that, and I think this is a really good lesson for all girls that are competing very soon. The reason that I picked it is not because I loved the song. I picked it because I thought it was what the judges would like, and I thought it was more impressive. Which is never what you want to do with your
yeah.
talent, right? Never. So I picked that because I was like, oh, they're gonna love it. They're gonna be like, oh, she's so talented, whatever. But you could tell on stage that I didn't love the song that I was singing. So I came back the next year, and I knew I wanted to sing something different, and I knew that I wanted it to be something that had meaning to me, but that still felt like I showcased, my talent and who I am, and I kind of ended up with that song. Not necessarily because I sang it in second grade, but just kind of like we feel like this is a good balance of all of those things, and I think it's a great example of stop trying to pick things because you think they're going to please other people or because they're more impressive. Pick something that you love and that makes you feel confident, and that's going to take you way farther than the latter. So
Yeah, so I've been a dancer since I was 2 years old, but
mm-hmm.
I've always done a bunch of different genres of dance. And for Miss Texas, I'm doing a tap dance to Don't Stop Me Now by Queen. And
Oh,
I love the song. And it's cool because it kind of relates to my social impact about not getting in the way of your goals, and just with the elevate, it's related to an elevator. So it's about getting to your top floor. So I think the message is really cool about not getting stopped on the way to your top floor. And I love my dance. I'm super excited about it. But that's super cool about your singing and vocal. I think vocal lessons, but I mean, I think that everyone said I was good, but I don't know how it actually was. I listened back to the videos and I'm like, okay, thanks for the support, guys. But I did all the sports and tennis and softball and soccer. Oh my gosh, I did everything. But
everything. Oh my
yeah,
gosh. Well, I can't wait to see your talent. You're gonna have to, well, because I won't be at Miss Texas. It's the same weekend as Miss Washington, but I'm gonna have to see a video of it. Okay.
yeah, I hope that I don't think that Texas live streams, but I think that they save them and like put them on JC Productions. I'm not super sure, but I think
Okay.
they do. So then we'll have a video from
Okay.
there. Okay,
Awesome.
let's
Okay.
see. Oh, and by the way, the people in the live, y'all can comment any questions that you have, and we can ask those as well because I have a list, but we can ask those too. Let's see. Okay, tell us something that most people don't know about having the job of Miss America's Outstanding Teen.
Mm. I would say it's not as glamorous as most people would expect, but I think that could go for any title that you hold. What you post on Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff is just a highlight reel. And I know for me, I won going into my senior year of high school. So the first year that I held the title of Miss America's Outstanding Teen was pretty hard. I was trying to balance school and the title with traveling, and I just remember being so exhausted. And then on top of it, being Miss America's Outstanding Teen, you don't travel with your parents. You travel with a chaperone, which was a big change for me as well. So just kind of all of that kind of combines to what I was saying about, definitely not a highlight reel. There's a lot that goes on behind it. Not as glamorous, but of course, I'm always like so thankful that I was given that opportunity.
Yes. Okay. So we have some questions from these. Let's see. Okay, I can click it and it will show up. Okay. How did your 2 years as MAOT differ? So I think that means from like 1 year. So how did it change it?
Quite a bit actually. So, which I mean, you would expect, but my first year was really a whirlwind. I was still in school, and I was, like I said, I was trying to balance being MAO teen and being a senior in high school and wanting to have all of those high school memories too. So lots of kind of like sacrifice and, you know, figuring out what's going to matter to me in the long run. And then COVID hit and everything kind of turned upside down, frankly. So I didn't really get to do a lot as Miss America's Outstanding Teen. I got to do a lot of awesome like personal projects on the side that were more, you know, for myself, that kind of later fed into my social impact, but not a ton. And then some of you might have noticed this, but our Instagram has been inactive for a while. So at the moment, I blame Instagram. If they could just give me the password back, I could get back in there and start posting. But so yeah, that's also been hard because for the second year, in a year where everyone was at home, right, and I couldn't go out in appearances, I also didn't have a way to communicate with you all. So it was kind of a double whammy in that sense.
Oh my gosh, Instagram is messing with everyone.
I know. I'm like, really, guys? Ugh, whole thing. Yes.
Okay, let's see other questions. Oh wait, that's the one I just did. What am I doing? Hold on, let's pull up another one.
Okay.
Okay, this is actually one of my misses in my organization, Jacqueline. Oh. How did you feel when you won?
Crazy, wild, all the things, all the feels. If you watch the video, it's kind of embarrassing to watch back. I like made a TikTok with it the other day, which whatever. But I was watching it. I was like, this is kind of embarrassing. I'm sobbing, like quite literally sobbing. Which is, it's okay. Like that's how I felt in the moment. But yeah, I was ecstatic. I really, my goal going into nationals was to make top 15. Washington has never had a Miss America's Outstanding Teen or a Miss America. So I didn't really have very high expectations going in. I just wanted to get top 15. And then once I won the evening gown and onstage question prelim, I was like, oh, okay. Like, I think I could make 15 now. Like, I feel pretty confident about it. And then it just like kept dwindling down. And for those of you who watched the live stream, I got called last for top 10 and top 5. So they really didn't give me a break there.
You're like, oh my gosh, that would be terrifying. I would be
literally, yeah. And so because every time when it got to like the last one, I'm like, okay, it's over. Like my journey's over. That's okay. Like I can go home. And yeah, so I was really kind of just like, how in the world did this happen to me, mostly, which you can tell by watching that video, because I was like all over the place with the emotions. So yeah,
it's so entertaining. I'm gonna have to go watch it. Okay.
Oh gosh.
How was MAOT being a freshman in college? That's a good question.
Ooh, so I haven't really shared a ton about this, just because my life has been kind of wild. So I originally was going to start my freshman year of college this past year. I announced to everybody that I was going to the University of San Diego. I was really excited. And then I kind of just decided what was best for me at the time was to take a gap year, based on everything that was going on in my life. I just didn't necessarily feel ready for college. And the University of San Diego, although a beautiful school, and I was very excited, it didn't feel like home to me, really, which I also think is a good thing to keep in mind, you know, when applying to college and all that stuff. I just didn't really feel like I'd made the right decision. So I stayed home, and like I said, I worked on a lot of these other like passion projects and stuff like that. And I actually reapplied to schools because I, you know, felt like I wanted a do-over. So I did. And I ended up actually getting into my dream school since I was a freshman in high school, which is USC, University of Southern California.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah, and so that's where I'll be going this year, and I could not be more excited. I feel so ready now. So I haven't gone through my freshman year of college, but I'm starting this year about a month after I give up, or less than a month after I give up my title as Miss America's Outstanding Teen. So I'm really excited, and it finally feels like I've made like the perfect decision for myself, and I'm gonna have like a great home there.
That timing works good too, because I'm sure that would be so stressful having to balance both. So that's
definitely
helpful. Okay, so then I have some questions from my stories. Let's see. Okay. Oh, this is interesting. What is the hardest part of the job?
Mm. I would say, ooh, okay. In addition to being, like I said, kind of exhausted my first year, and I'm speaking in terms of if this was a regular year, right? Like, so more so my first year as Miss America's Outstanding Teen. I'd say one of the hardest things, and something that I'm sure you totally understand, Mallory, and any other title holders that are watching, is having to be like on all the time. We're human and we have emotions and feelings and we get upset about things. But of course, we represent this phenomenal organization and we represent our titles and we want to showcase the best sides of ourselves to everybody. So there were times where, you're on for, or I'm on for days, and and it wears you out even more, right? Because you can't let yourself feel those things that you do feel, and I'd say that was hard, but I also think is really was beneficial to me in a sense, because that's a skill that you're gonna have to have in life. Not everything is gonna go your way, but if you can deal with it with grace and flexibility, then I think that's a really great attribute to have.
So that kind of goes along with one of my other questions is, obviously for you it's on a much bigger scale, but I'm obviously on social media and Instagram, Facebook, and I developed a website for myself. It's Mallory.com. Go check it out. But
okay.
So, which obviously all of those things have a lot of information about me, and same for you. So how do you balance being a teenager but also having so much information about you out there, and also how you were just kind of saying about your emotions and handling stress and sadness just like any other person would? How do you handle that while also holding the title?
I will say it's definitely hard. Being a teenager is hard in general, and then on top of it, you have this massive platform and organization to represent. So for me, having my parents there was really, really important. Whenever I was on trips, and I wasn't able to be with them, there was times that I was gone for a week and a half, where I would come home for 2 days and then I'd leave again. So I would call my parents every single night and, talk to them through everything. And I'm super blessed to have such a great relationship with my parents, and that I can share my whole life with them. Nothing's off the table. So, and whenever I was in some sort of, conflict, or if I'm like, I don't know what to do in this situation, they were always a really great resource for me. But I'd say for people who don't necessarily have that, find a friend or find a mentor. This organization has plenty of mentors. They're all around. Find someone that you can kind of lean on, and especially your miss in a lot of ways is going to be your best resource. They've been a teenager before, they've lived through it, and now they have the wiseness, I guess, to kind of help you make good decisions. So I would say definitely lean on the people in your circle. They're here to help you, and yeah, just reach out for help when you need it.
It's cool because my mom is on here. You can probably see her comment. And a lot of my friends are on here. So
oh my gosh.
Hi everyone. But
oh, so sweet.
Okay, let's see. We have another question in the question box.
Okay.
This is from one of my friends I'm competing with. So what advice would you give for someone who's competing in a state pageant for the first time?
Ooh. I would say kind of similar to what I said about savor every moment. Take it day by day. First time I competed, it's overwhelming for sure. And I also remember I kind of let like the adrenaline get to me. Like, so every time I was on stage, I was just freaking out. And in times when I really needed to be more, calm and collected. So definitely take it day by day. Talk to people that have been through it before. They're here to help you. And just breathe, because you'll get through it. It's a really exciting thing to do. I was so ecstatic my first year competing. I only made the top 10, and I was beaming when I got home. So it's definitely an exciting time. So just make sure you stay focused on why you're there, which shouldn't be the crown. I talk a lot about this, that you should have more than one reason that you're at state, right? Like your only goal shouldn't be the crown. So focus on the actual reasons why you're there and the actual reasons you compete in this organization. Take deep breaths and soak it all in.
This is a funny story. So I competed my first year at state. I turned 13 the day before competition.
Oh my gosh, you were a baby.
I was so young, and I'm like, and I remember, this is sort of embarrassing. They were announcing top 10, and I was blonde. I looked completely different. I was 13. I just turned 13, and I remember standing up there while they're announcing the top 10, and I was like, I'm gonna win. And I didn't even get in top 10, but I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna win this. And I was like, okay, change of plans. But
oh my gosh,
yeah, that's definitely been something I've realized this year is my stress levels are 0% because I'm not going into it for the crown like you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoying the experience and getting to know all of the girls who are competing for the first time this year, and just all of the girls that I've been competing with. Getting to know them on a higher level has been amazing, and not going into it being like, oh my god, I'm gonna win. But obviously that didn't work out the first year.
You've learned your lesson.
I learned. But I noticed that, like, preparing for competition has been so much easier and stress-free. I'm like, okay, I that, and it feels like I've been waiting for competition week to come up, obviously with 2 years, but that's been part of it. But definitely knowing what my priorities are before competition has been super helpful, and so that's some advice that I would also give. Let's see if
absolutely.
Oh my gosh, my papers are falling. Some of these questions I've already asked, so okay, so this is kind of a different question, but kind of the same. This is kind of like, how did it change from state title to national title? But how would you say that you have changed as a person after having the title of Miss America?
Well, for starters, it completely changed what I wanted to do for my future career. I often say that the best part of this job is getting to talk to the girls in this organization, girls like you, Mallory, and all the girls I've had the honor of, meeting at different state competitions, and hearing your guys' stories, and why you're here, and the things that you stand for and that you advocate for through your social impact. It's amazing. It blows my mind every single time I go to these competitions, because I'm just absolutely floored by the talent and the commitment and dedication to service and to, just being a overall great human. So I'd say the biggest way it changed me was that I realized I want to kind of share these stories with other people. So I completely changed my plan of being a political science major, and I want to pursue journalism. And ultimately, I want to be a storyteller and be a journalist and share, hopefully, the amazing accomplishments that you all are doing. And then also, I think it's really just helped me understand the world from a different perspective. I've gained a completely new perspective, and I've learned a lot. And yes, that comes with age, but I think it also came from all of the people that I've met, and all the experiences that I've had. So it's really helped me grow as a human, and just have more empathy for my fellow humans, I guess.
I could totally see you in that job. Hold on, my door opened because of my air conditioner died.
Oh no.
So that's kind of the same for me. The organization as a whole, a lot of people ask me, they're like, so do you just walk around on stage and you win? And I'm like, no. And they're like, and I think the biggest reason for me is because not only have I been able to see the difference in who I am, but so many other people have, like my mom and my friends and family. And I think it's the same with a lot of people. Like, I would have never been able to stand on stage and talk to a room full of, I know how many people, if I hadn't started this organization, or not started, but got involved in this organization and learned about myself and other people. And I think that's one of the most amazing things about it. And obviously I'm not Miss America 2017, but I think that's one of the most amazing things about the organization.
Yeah, I would totally agree.
So I have a few more questions, but let's see. So you said what your career ambition was. So what's next in your journey after Miss America's Outstanding Teen?
So, like I said, I'm heading off to college this fall, and I am pursuing a journalism major with possibly a minor in philosophy, politics, and law. And then hopefully, if I can tag on a musical theater minor as well. I want to definitely pursue the arts through college. Like I said, I've been singing forever. And then I've always someone that's been super involved. So I'm planning on diving headfirst into college and, you know, joining student government and a cappella groups and all that fun stuff, all the like nerdy college stuff. And then after that, I definitely want to compete again in the future, but I think I'll definitely take a couple years off. Like I said, it is exhausting and overwhelming. So after, you know, my freshman year, maybe my sophomore year, I might dip my toe back into the water in the Miss America organization, but we'll see. It's definitely not the last of me. Whether I become a judge or whatever, I still want to be involved, even if it's not competing in the future.
That's amazing. Okay. 2 more questions.
Okay.
Who's the most influential person that you have met on this journey? Obviously, you've met so many influential people, but who do you think the most influential person that you've met who has had an impact on your life has been? Or there could be multiple, but because that's probably a very narrowed down question. But.
The first person that comes to mind is definitely my first local director, Sherry Backus. That was actually the only local I've ever competed in, because when I came back to state, I came back as an open.
Oh my.
And so she pretty much taught me everything I know, but also really helped me grow as an individual. She's a middle school administrative principal. So she understands kids, she understands teenagers. And I touched on this earlier. She's been one of those mentors that I've been able to lean on in times of confusion and, you know, turmoil, I guess.
Yeah.
And yeah, so she's been an amazing person. And I see myself, you know, being friends with her for a very, very long time. She's someone, and I'm sure that you have someone like that too. You know, some of our local directors are the most amazing people we will ever meet. You know, women that do this simply out of the kindness of their hearts and because they truly love what this organization provides to young women. So Sherry's phenomenal. And then another one is Lana Graves, who is my state director. Both phenomenal women who have given so much to me that I could never, ever repay them for, and that I hope will be in my life for a very long time.
Yes, so my directors are actually on here. They're the Miss North Texas organization account.
Oh,
but
okay.
They have been amazing for this year or 2 years now. And it's crazy because I'm like, okay, if I'm doing a local again next year, I don't know where I'm going to go because I don't want to leave them.
Yeah.
I don't want to, I mean, I love all of the directors in the organization, but we become like best friends. And
yeah, you're like, these are my people.
I'm like, where am I going to go? I don't want to leave y'all. Y'all don't get to, girl. We can just stay together.
Yeah, you're like, I can just be her for a couple
years.
Yeah.
Just pretend. I'll just change my name. But okay, and then the last thing, Miss Texas Outstanding Teen Check-In is this weekend. So it all starts obviously super soon.
Oh my gosh.
How many days is it? What's today? Tuesday? Well, I can't remember the days, but Tuesday. So
yes, Tuesday.
So obviously some of my fellow title holders are on here and I'm on here. So do you have any final words of advice for us all going into the week? We kind of hit this question earlier, but just overall going into the week. Yeah, 4 days until.
Thank you, Laurel. She's got us. Like I said earlier, just take deep breaths and savor every moment. And also view this weekend and competition week as a learning opportunity and an opportunity for growth. Only one person can take home the crown and sash. And actually, you know what I'm going to do? There's a woman in our organization. She's a volunteer, and she has the most amazing metaphor for this. So I'm going to share this because when I heard this, it blew me away. So she said that when you win the crown and sash, right, that's you taking your steps to the door. We can't act like we all have the same amount of steps to get to the door, right? Some of us are 20 feet away from the door, and some of us are 2 feet away from the door. And that's just how life is sometimes. And so instead of being upset, if we, and this helps a lot if you're in the room and we can kind of do it, but I'll explain. If, if let's say I'm 20 feet away and you're 2 feet away, Mallory, and, everyone says, okay, take 2 steps to the door. And now, Mallory, you've won. You're at the door, right? You're the new Miss Texas's Outstanding Teen. It's not fair for me to be like, I'm never going to get to the door. Like, how could this ever happen to me? No, I took my 2 steps. I made progress towards the door. And now next year, I get to take 2 more steps and I get to get even closer to the door. And it's my job, because only one girl can win. It's my job to uplift and empower you, because you're the new Miss Texas's Outstanding Teen. And I absolutely love that metaphor, because I just think it's such a great reminder that we all have different battles that we're fighting. We all come from different backgrounds, different perspectives, and we don't start at the same starting line. We just don't. But we can all take steps towards that door and towards the goals that we want and towards the future that we want. And some girls are closer to the door, and we need to lift them up and celebrate them, because that's where they are in that journey. And eventually we'll get to that journey as well. So that's my 2 cents. She's amazing. I actually, for title holders that are watching, there's a speech on YouTube that is explained way better than I ever could say this. It's called the loser speech. It is probably the best thing I've ever listened to. And I listened to it the first year that I competed at state. Highly recommend you to watch that before state weekend. It really is. She has a way. She's a former Miss Washington's Outstanding Teen. She just has a really great way of kind of helping you get in a really great mindset. So I credit that analogy to her. And then if y'all want to watch the speech, look up Tori Knight loser speech and you'll find it. So that's my advice.
So then obviously that was a little bit of advice for that, but obviously, like you said, only one girl is going to get to walk away with the crown. So what advice do you have to the girls who aren't going to be crowned Miss Texas's Outstanding Teen?
I would say that your journey isn't over, and just because you didn't win the crown and the sash doesn't mean you can't be Miss Texas's Outstanding Teen in your own community. Your community loves having you and thinks that, Miss North Texas is the most amazing girl in the entire world, right? You're a part of our town, our community, and we love having you. And so just because you don't have the new fancy crown and sash doesn't mean that you can't act like that girl every single day, and can't act like the state title holder that you want to be. And a lot of us will never get to be that state title holder. That's just how life works, right? There's only one every year. So understand that doesn't define you. Success in that typical sense doesn't define who you are and what you're capable of. So cherish, this opportunity, and then go home and act like you're Miss Texas's Outstanding Teen, because you can be, even without all of the bling.
Okay, that's amazing. Thank you so much for that. Because
yeah.
I know my first year I was a little bummed not winning, and obviously we don't know who's going to be Miss Texas Outstanding Teen. So I think that's good, even going into the week, just preparing for, even if you are going to be the winner, just hearing that and preparing for that, because you never know. And it's kind of like I was saying earlier, going into it with a different mindset has been so eye-opening, and it's helped me learn a lot about myself and everyone else around me. So that is super helpful. And also, I love the analogy that you shared with us. So thank you.
Of course.
We went through all of these questions. I have no idea how, but it's like okay, if I don't finish in time, like, I'm going to have these extra questions, or I'm just going to have these questions to go through, but we finished them all. So
look at that.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining us with me today. And you said Miss Washington's next weekend or next week?
It is, let's see, it's the first weekend of July. So I thought maybe it was aligned with Miss Texas. I could totally have gotten that wrong, though.
Well, that's still insane that it's so close. I can't believe all the things are already happening, but
I know.
here,
It's wild.
so crazy. But thank you for joining, and
Of course.
obviously still have the title of Miss America's Outstanding. But you have been amazing, and I've loved watching all that you've done. So it's been super fun getting to see you throughout the year.
Oh, thank you. You are so sweet, Mallory. It's been so great talking to you. I can't wait to follow Miss Texas's Outstanding Teen and see what all of you will accomplish. And I'm sure you will do absolutely amazing, Mallory.
Thank you.
Of
I'm sure I'll
course.
talk to you soon, but
Yes.
you. Bye.
Okay, bye.